Welcome to 4-H Sport Fishing. Let's talk a little bit about angling skills. Remember that there are 4 parts to our project. There is tacklecraft, there's angling skills, there's aquatic ecology, and then people and fish. In this part, what I really want to talk about is how to have the youth practice their casting skills. Casting skills are not necessarily something that you might be an expert in. Feel free to reach out into your community, to your local bait and tackle shop, to your local Bass Pro, or even your Missouri Department conservation agents might have some tips and tricks on teaching angling skills. During the winter, there are many activities that you can do inside to have the youth practice and work on their expertise in angling. So let's start off with those. Remember, angling skills, even if it's practice, needs to also include safety. So we have our hat with a bill, preferably a long bill, and then we have some sort of safety glasses. If we're in the backyard, can be sunglasses, prescription glasses, or our safety goggles. As we start looking at our practicing of our angling skills, the first thing that you might want to be aware of are practice plugs. Practice plugs can be picked up at many retailers that sell fishing equipment. A practice plug will have a weight to it. In this case, this is a 1/4 weight. They might be a little bit heavier based on the type of rod and reel that you have. They might be rubber like this one, or they might be a composite plastic. They attach with monofilament, or if you have another activity that requires string, then you can also loop string through these. This allows us to practice without using live hooks. But because we're practicing, still want to be safety. And safety is important even with these flying around a room. With the practice plug, we might want to start with our youth who are at the very basic novice level, thinking about casting and what the different parts of casting look like. You can take a simple empty can, make sure that they're empty. That can make a mess if not. When you have a can, you can also take this piece of string, or one that might be a little bit longer, but this is a nice one for demonstration purposes. You can also use monofilament with this. And then of course, our practice plug that's attached to it. In this case, I'm going to start off with just a small piece of duct tape. This is what I'm going to use to attach it to the can, so we don't have any runaway rope. We want to wind this around, and then we're going to ask the youth to practice their casting skills. So as they cast out, they'll learn how the string might move. Any type of yarn or thicker nylon string, it might stick a little bit more than the monofilament. That's a great conversation to have with the youth about the size of their monofilament and the size of strings that we use in different types of fishing poles. So this is a great one to get started with. Can be done indoors or outdoors. You can do it in your backyard. You also can use things like hula hoops. Hula hoops make great targets. So as we lay these out in the yard or on the floor in our meeting room, then we can ask the youth to aim and cast at different distances, or maybe at different sizes of hula hoops. In our state sport fishing event, our casting contest, we use not only something about the size of a hula hoop, we use a paint that will not affect the environment that we put down on the gravel. And inside of that, we use a feed bucket. If they hit the bullseye, it lands inside the feed bucket. Because we have different levels of our casting and anglers that are out there, in our casting contest, we typically use a larger one that might be a little bit deeper. As you are practicing though, you might find a similar size target. So notice that these are the same size on the bottom, but this one might have an appearance of something that's a little bit smaller and a little more difficult for the youth to aim at. One of the favorites among all of our sport fishing folks is the backyard bass. This is a commercial product that can be purchased. They come in different colors, and usually you'll get a multi-pack of them. As the youth are practicing and they are learning their casting skills, one of the things that they'll be able to do is actually cast and get their plug in. The string might capture inside of the fish, and then they'll be able to reel it in. So this gives one more step to that angling skills practice. These are great things to do as you're preparing for your fishing season. Remember, we want to take them out and get them on the water. We want them interacting with real fish as much as possible. But sometimes practicing to get to that expertise might take other tools.